Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you are listening to High School Hoops with our hosts, Steve Collins and Jake Steger.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coach Unplugged, episode 386. Not going to be a long intro here because this is a rewind episode from High School Hoops. So if you haven't subscribed to High School Hoops, it comes out. You can get these things earlier. Make sure you go over and subscribe and like there. Let us know what you think. We're working on a couple in the hopper new podcast, part of our Coach Market LLC kind of media conglomerate. And we got a bunch coming out that are all, a couple have to do with life and mentoring and leadership. Some have to do with actual basketball, more in-depth stuff that we've been talking about. So watch for those, but enjoy, have a great weekend, and let's head off to the podcast. All right, welcome to High School Hoops, episode 41.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Coach. This
all right,
is
we're gonna
a
get
long question.
Right, but it's a good question because I think it's applicable for all coaches across the country and across the world, depending on how your high school basketball is organized. What does June look like for high school basketball coaches, and how do we balance it? I say how do we balance it because I feel like when we talked before creating this topic, is that it is probably the most time-consuming time as a basketball coach in the summer months is June.
Yeah,
so that's why
I think it's the most stressful.
Right.
Don't you think? I mean,
for sure. I mean, I just met with our head coach.
Juggling 85 things, especially being a teacher. I think I'm juggling the end of the school year. I think I'm juggling getting my team ready. I'm juggling my kids that live in this house ending their school year. I'm thinking about vacation. I'm thinking about it. All this stuff that it's nonstop.
For sure. I just met with our high school coach, the varsity coach, and the coach, the place that I talk to. I mean, I look at our calendar and it is so full. And so one thing that we did right away was just delegate and start to look at, okay, how can we accomplish this together?
Right.
We're still looking for a JV2 coach. And so we looked at finding somebody else, a young college kid to help out with coaching. We also have a JV2 group that's not very good this year. And we feel as our varsity experience of both me and the coaches to really support them and get them ready.
Right.
Because we looked at where will our strengths be. And it really didn't come to looking at our varsity. It came to how can we support this group because they're the weakest part right now. And we want to get them better. It's not going to make or break our season this summer if we're not there on a varsity night, or if I'm not there on a varsity night, or how we do things. Is like, where can our skills best suit our program, and where can we get other people to help out?
Right. And it's hard to find people to coach in the summer.
Yep, it is.
It is really hard.
It's not like they're making $100 a night or anything like that. They're volunteering their time, and
right.
And you got to find people that are interested in coaching, and you got to find the right kids. Because you still want them to speak your common language of what you value and so forth. You don't want to create any animosity in the summer with certain people. You got to have trust in them, no matter who they are.
Right.
You got to trust them. It's a circle of trust.
It is.
Look at Coach K's circle of trust. Unless you go to Duke, you don't get to be part of his staff anymore. So, I think it's a big issue.
Right.
Making sure.
And I think it's a big issue in the sense that you have all these things happening at the same time, and you have to. Early in my career, I didn't want to delegate them. but you have to be able to delegate. And you also have to take everything with a little bit of grain of salt, in the sense that it is still summer, where, yeah, you're going to have to scramble on a Tuesday night to find enough kids to go to league, because something's going to happen and baseball is going to have to reschedule. And, I think you were saying that it's more stressful than during the season. I think it is, to be honest with you.
I agree. Just because, the other thing is too, is that when it's November for us in the state of Wisconsin, it's our time. Nobody touches our time.
Right.
In the summer, everybody has our time, and it's also either other basketball facets have our time too, whether it's the AAU circuit, whether it's competing with other camps and communities to have your school camp. It's crazy, dude. There's just so many conflicts. Family vacation. Like when it comes to season, it's our time. Everybody knows about it, but summer is very, very stressful because trying to organize a camp, trying to organize a league.
Hey, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you could stop that treadmill right now, jump off, subscribe and like to the podcast, leave a review. We really do appreciate that. That doesn't cost you anything, and it really does help us at the podcast for High School Hoops and Coach Unplugged. Also, if you could, if you're doing any shopping on Amazon, you're doing anything for your family or your team, if you type in teachhoops.com/Amazon and make that your bookmark every time you do it, it allows us we get a small little commission, allows us to keep the lights on here at the podcast, both High School Hoops and Coach Unplugged, and we would really appreciate that. Also, if you really, 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 really want to help me out, help us out, go over and subscribe to teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. All right, let's head back to the podcast.
Organized league, making sure you have enough numbers. It's a very stressful time.
Right, and running your own camp, throw that in there at the same time.
Right.
I just got my camp T-shirts. I'm worried about that, or my numbers. Does everybody know about it? How do I get the word? All this kind of stuff is all happening at the same time, and it's a difficult process.
I think you got to have meetings. I think you got to be able to meet now with your staff and delegate it. I don't think you can go for us, we met in May. We have a full scoping sequence of what we want to accomplish this summer. We all have our things. There's a couple times where my coach Miller's not going to be able to make it a couple times, and I'm filling in and making sure that I have that coverage. And, that just puts him at ease a little bit too, because that's my role as a varsity assistant, is to make sure that I can put him at ease, or I can support him as best as we can as our program. And so if you don't do that stuff now, you're just adding stressors, and being able to find help later on in the summer, it's just not going to happen. You got to do it now.
Right. And yes, you have to do it now.
You probably should have done 3 or 4 weeks ago before this podcast, to be honest with you.
Yes, if you're listening to this, it's too late, probably, because it's going to be the middle of June. So it's basically the roller coaster at this point. Hang on.
Yep.
And then what I would do is start jotting notes down for next year.
Or join Teach Hoops and then be able to come talk to Steve and I. We'll help you out right now.
We'll help you.
There's a little plug for you.
There you go. But I mean, I'm serious though, but jot things down like, I don't like how this works, or maybe we shouldn't go to this, or maybe we need to change when we have our open gyms, or, I got to sit down with a football coach, or, baseball is really becoming a conflict. Whatever it is, you got to figure it out, and then you got to be able to tackle it. Because you're right, if you spell it out in front of you, it will make it a lot easier as far as moving forward, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Full timeout today is what's the most effective screen that you use in an offense? What's the most effective screen that you like the best?
Right now, I'd say the flare.
The flare screen.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that we're trying to utilize also in our program. But why? Why the flare screen?
I think it's hard to defend at the high school level, and people don't spend enough time or know it well enough.
So do you think it takes a lot of time to prepare?
I do.
I think a lot of coaches now are really still focusing on how to guard the pin down and the ball screen, and the flare is something. I also think that I still think the pin down is very effective. Wide pin down.
I do too, but I think it's easier to defend.
Right.
And I think if you run flare after flare after flare, yes, it's easier to defend. But when you run some flares once in a while, God, I've just seen so many open shots off it that.
But don't you think that you got to have guys that can really skip the basketball and are strong enough to pass that basketball?
You got to be strong enough to skip it. Yeah.
For sure.
Or you can shorten the pass up top.
Okay.
What I've seen, and run that flare up top. But I think it's a lot of where the game's going, and I think that has a lot to do with it. So
absolutely. All right.
Okay, awesome.
Sounds
Till next
good.
week.
All right, bye.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the podcast as much as I did. Subscribe and leave a review. We really do appreciate that. Go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I know you are thinking about it. I know you want to become a better basketball coach. Let me help you. Okay, this is the reason I did it. I wanted to help basketball coaches take their coaching to the next level. So go over and check it out. Resources, videos, handouts, one-on-one calls, office hours, a community like no other. Go over and check that out. All right, have a great day.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.